On Friday, several NFL players, including New York Jets kicker Nick Lowry, were among the volunteers taking part in Christmas in April. 2 low-income families from the Hermosa section of Phoenix were the recipients of extensive home repairs. This is the nation's largest volunteer home rehabilitation effort, and NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue was also on hand, showing his dexterity with a hammer. He's on the advisory board.
This is something that not all organizations have, although we all strive for it, but the Super Bowl teams have it. Toughness, mental and physical toughness. Christmas in April has all of those things, and for that reason, it really gets things done that few other organizations, in my experience, can do. It gets them done on lean budgets, and it does it for people in the most immediate and real way.
Nationwide, more than 4,000 homes in 430 communities will be rehabilitated in 1996. Now, back to the game. As with any Super Bowl, there are plenty of places to look for keys, pivotal matchups that might determine the outcome. We think that the battle up front, when the Cowboys have the ball, will be the biggest key. Can the Steelers' front seven cope with the Cowboys' massive offensive line, considered by many the best offensive line in football? Joe Gibbs brings us inside the battleground.
The key to every big game comes down to the battle in the trenches.
It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog.
Lean on them, lean on them, lean on them with our weight. But hopefully towards the fourth quarter, it takes its toll.
I think their strength is let it come off the ball and wear you down around the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter, you're like... If you establish the run and people know that you can run and beat them up, they tend to sit back in their stance.
This season, the Cowboys' offensive line was the heaviest in the league by far. That offensive line outweighs the Steelers' defensive line and linebackers by an average of 57 pounds per man.
Well, they're big, but I don't really think the size is what's important. I think the fact that they're good is what's important.
That line is the main reason for the success of Emmitt Smith.
You have to stop Emmitt Smith. He's a great running back, and you got to stop Emmitt Smith. And that's where this defense and this team has got to, what we've got to do. As far as defense is concerned, we got to go out and we got to establish that you cannot run this football all day on that.
How's Pittsburgh going to do it? Well, they have 3 options. First, they could stick with their basic defense and go with 7 up front, 3 linemen and 4 linebackers. The safeties would drop off in a 2-deep zone or cover 2 to help double the receivers. The man to watch in this defense is Emmitt Smith. The Steelers tried this approach in last year's meeting. Pittsburgh was no match at the line of scrimmage, and Emmitt ran for his 171 yards. Well, if you want to help out defending the run, what you can do is bring up a safety. In this case, Myron Bell to help the run. The other safety rotates to the middle of the field, but this leaves the corners one-on-one with Dallas receivers. Not many corners can cover Michael Irvin one-on-one. In last year's game, the Steelers at times elected to single cover Irvin, and the result was 8 catches for 139 yards. Dallas has a unique double threat. Double the receivers, and Emmitt will have a big day. Bring the safety up, and Michael is one-on-one. Their success feeds on each other, and they know it.
Yeah, we talk all the time. But we do that going into the game. Like, I know certain teams like to play a lot of cover, too. I'd go in and Emmitt, I need you to kill him, baby. I need you to gas him. And then I'll get my game in. I'll get my flow going. And we know that. And if they stack in the line of scrimmage, he comes to me and says, you need to put it on them out there, man, so they can back some people up out of there so they can get his, So, yeah, we definitely know that.
With the safety up to help the run, you could move the other safety over to help on Irvin. But now Novacek and Kevin Williams are left in single coverage. The thing to watch today, if the safeties stay back to double in a 2-deep zone, that leaves 7 up front for Pittsburgh to stop the run. Look for Dallas to run. If the safety comes up to help the run, Dallas throws.
Joe, after week 1 of the regular season, the Steeler defense was ranked 13th in the NFL. It finished the regular season at number 3 overall in the league. What do the Steelers have to do here today?
Well, you mentioned it, Greg. They do have good stats. I think the key, though, the last time they played with a lot of the same players on both teams, it was a mismatch. And Pittsburgh could not hang in there. I think the key thing that's got to happen today, Pittsburgh's got to disguise their looks. You know, they got to give them a lot of different looks to the Dallas Cowboys and Troy Aikman and hope they make it a guessing game and they guess right a lot more than Troy does.
What we've been hearing all week, Mike, is that the Steelers are going to give Troy Aikman one blitz after another, after another, after another. Is that good philosophy?
Well, after talking to Lloyd and Green, I think they're going to come after him. They're going to play some zone blitz. They're going to drop some linemen on. They're trying to break down the blocking pattern of the Dallas Cowboys. They want to try to tie up Johnson so he can't free up to pick up Green or Lloyd when they get free. And I tell you what, they have to do what Joe said. They have to confuse these people, because if they don't, it's going to be long. The other thing, no big runs. I mean, no runs over 30 yards. They can stay in this football game.
Wondering about the Steelers against the run. They have held the opposition to less than 100 yards rushing 8 of their last 9 games. Let's go over to Ahmad.
All right, Greg, there is another battle that's already been waged here in the Phoenix area, and I'm referring, of course, to the Computer Bowl. Phil Simms versus Paul McGuire.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a matter of moments, the event of a lifetime, as Phil Simms takes on Paul McGuire in the computer battle.
Now, you read in the sports section today about the Computer Bowl. You read about this former Super Bowl MVP, Phil Simms versus McGuire. You know this story? Now, I'm not betting on a computer goal. See, I'm just betting on the fact that Paul McGuire won't be able to figure out how to work the computer.